Do you have what it takes? I'll tell you what, Cowboy, we are live here at Chicagoland Speedway, ETV live in the booth with me tonight. Dakota Ehrman, of course, Dakota and I have been camped out here at Chicagoland along with John Westling, our camera operator tonight for the last, week or so. But tonight we are here with the Stalker Evolution ESRL, the Elite Sim Racing Series here, the Pro Series. This is chase number 1 from Chicagoland Speedway. And Dakota, last night we saw some action here at Chicagoland Speedway. Tonight, 130 laps on the board. What's your take on the race tonight?
Well, first off, I want to start off by saying, yes, we've been here probably about a week and a half now, and my week is not done here at Chicagoland, so... but so far, Chicagoland's produced pretty good racing, and I mean, last night was a full race, like 267 laps, and ended up going like 272. 18 cautions last night, but I'm hoping that won't be the issue tonight, and I think it's usually good racing here, and that's what I'm hoping from these guys at the ESRL.
You bet. Starting off with us tonight over in the chat room, when I say hello to, looks like Cameron Higgin, a lot of people logging in right now. Puth 88, I don't know who that is, but Mike S. along to the right, I know who that is. Ray C, that's going to be Ray Shannonette. SE, that's probably going to be one of the admins. In fact, your race admins for tonight, Gary Madu and Mike Schreiner. They'll be calling the action from the administrator's room here at the track. And then, of course, we mentioned his name, Magic Fingers, John Westling. He'll be working the cameras from flag to flag here, and there is no better in the business, Cowboy. The bad boy, John Westling, working those cameras tonight. But Dakota, chase number 1 here. This is the, we're rounding out the top 26 races here, starting fresh. Points have been reset. Chicagoland Speedway up first. But let's talk about some of these drivers here for just a minute. We've got a couple of ones that we want to mention here tonight, ones to keep an eye on. And as we go down through the points, Warren Peed is your leader here coming into the chase. He's got 4 wins, 5 top 5 finishes here with the Stock Car Pro Series here, Stock Car Evolution Pro Series, 7 top 10 finishes. Now his wins came from Kansas back in April, Richmond in April, and then moving on into May at Darlington, where they went caution-free. Warren Peed taking a trophy home there. And then picks up another win here just on August 19th, just here recently from Michigan. So Warren Peed coming in with 4 wins. Mike Hebb, he's up 3 positions in the points. Now he sits just 3 points off of Warren Peed, so this is going to be a big night for him as far as the chase goes. Now Mike Hebb, he's coming in tonight with 3 wins, 2 top 5 finishes, 13, count them, 13 top 10s here in the Pro Series. Now, Mike Hebb, he won at Talladega back in May. He also won a Kentucky race back in July, and then also here just recently, Atlanta Speedway here on September 2nd. So Mike Hebb up there just 3 points off the lead. Travis Joyner sits in the 3rd position tonight, up 3 notches. Now, Travis Joyner and the next, looks like the next 3 or 4 drivers here, all the way down to 7th position. They're all pretty much sharing the same seat, so keep that in mind when we mention their names. Travis Joyner, he's 6 points off the lead up here. Travis comes in with 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Impressive stuff, Cowboy. And then Ray Moss. Ray Moss sits in 4th position. Dakota. And of course, this is 4th position in the numbering. He's still just 6 off with Travis Joyner from the lead. Ray's coming in with 2 wins, 8 top 5 finishes, 10 top 10 finishes here in the Pro Series. And rounding out the top 5, Tom McKeever. He sits as well with Ray and Travis Joyner. He sits 6 points off, 9 top 5 finishes, a couple of wins, 8 top 10s. And then Mike Kuhn sits in that number 6 position, again 6 off from the lead. He's coming in with 2 wins, 3 top 5s, and 10 top 10 finishes. You see a lot of consistency here, Dakota.
And Philip Stocks is actually coming in a 7th position right now, but like you said earlier, he is actually tied for 3rd position. It's like a 4 or 5 way tie. But the interesting about him tonight is he has 2 wins and 4 poles, 11 top 5s and 11 top 10s. So I mean, he's finished almost every time he's finished in the top 10, it was the top 5. He is actually currently the fastest on the charts, I believe, tonight. So he's a guy to watch out for to maybe make up those 6 points and, I mean, maybe even come away as a lead. Who knows? Gary Cross sitting in the 8th position. He is tied in a 3-way tie for this position with Dan Mueller and Lane Allen, and that's running at your top 10.
You bet. And then let's talk about Chicagoland Speedway here for just a minute. Mile-and-a-half track. This is not like the other mile-and-a-half tracks that we're so used to seeing. Texas, Kentucky Speedway, Kansas, Atlanta Speedway. This track's just a little bit different. It's a D-shaped oval. There's not a straight part on this track. So even going down the backstretch, it's curved. So you got to bend the wheel to the left here just a little bit. You have to drive this track, Dakota. And let's talk about the racing grooves here. There are several of them, aren't there?
Yes, there are. What we noticed yesterday was a few guys actually trying to move up and use the outside lane, and that can work. It's actually more preferred if you're going to have somebody pass you or somebody's trying to pass you. If you move up to that outside lane just to groove up, you can pinch them down the corner, and they cannot. They have to lift so they don't run you over. You can power up the corner and keep your position. That's how a lot of guys race aggressively and hold the position. It can be found a little ridiculous by the other drivers, and I think that's where we'll see some trouble tonight. Is frustration probably one of the biggest things that plays a role here.
You bet. And Kansas, or in Kansas, where are we, Toto? Chicagoland Speedway. From my own experience here, usually in turns 1 and 2, I want to get all the way down to the bottom. You want to get on the throttle pretty much in the center of that turn, and you're hot on the throttle. Coming out, it's going to push the car right up to the wall. Don't be afraid of the wall. You got to keep that left-hand pressure on the wheel all the time. Turns 3 and 4 are just a little bit different. You can actually pick up a lot of speed in that upper lane through turn 3 and 4. On the bottom, it's kind of a trick. You got to take care of the tires. So if you're going through 3 and 4 on the bottom, you have to get off the gas just a little bit sooner down there. Tighter radius there at the bottom. We're looking at about 14-degree banking in the turns. I believe it's 7 degrees on the front stretch, about 6 degrees on the back stretch. So there's not a single piece of this track that's straight anywhere. Now let's talk about the apron line down here just for a minute. Actually, why don't we go ahead? I'm just getting a note. Why don't we go ahead and send it on trackside? The Cactus Cuties present our national anthem. We'll come back to the track after this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gentlemen, start your engine!
And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway as we get them fired up here Philip Stocks on the pole here tonight. Outside him in that second position, the number 25 car of Mike Kuhn. Starting third in the 69 machine. Gary Cross on the inside. On the outside of him in fourth, number 10, Greg Girk. Cody Sears will be starting in fifth in the 8 machine on the inside. On the outside in the 85 car in sixth position, Tom McKeever. Travis Joyner in that hostile contact car will be starting seventh on the inside. In 8th position, the 24 car of Ray Moss. In 9th, in the 75 machine, Terry Milford. On the outside, in 10th position, the 61 of Warren P. Dakota.
Starting in 11th position on the inside, Dan Mueller in that 6th machine. On the outside of him, Mike Hebb. Starting in the next row in 13th position in the inside row, Joe Brown driving the 5 machine. On the outside of him, Tony Oscar. Starting in the 15th position, we have Tony Bagstad, and on the outside of him, Paul Rogers. And rounding out the rest of your field, starting 17th, Chad Cabral. On the outside of him, John Kennedy. On the inside, in position 19, we'll have Mike Killigrew, and in 20th position on the outside row, the last car rounding out your field, Dustin Storm.
And the green flag about ready to come out. Philip Stock's going to pick it up here tonight from Chicagoland Speedway as we get the ball rolling for chase number 1 here. 130 laps, 1 trophy at the end, Cowboy. Mike Kuhn up on the top as we get the ball rolling here in the 69 car. Gary Cross coming down the inside. He's going to get second position away from Mike Kuhn as we start to get settled in here. Single file all the way back to, actually all the way back to about, looks like...
Dan Mueller and Joe Brown there, and Joe Brown slipping back a little bit. Mike Hebb coming to his outside now.
You bet. Yeah, Mike Hebb as Tom McKeevy goes by 13th position back here, guys. Mike Hebb is kind of backing off the throttle. Let's talk about the fuel mileage here. About 56 laps. So, Dakota, we're probably looking anywhere from about, let's call it from about 55 to 56 laps. Tires, they should be able to go the distance here at Chicagoland. However, as we saw last night, right side tires, you got to take care of them here at Chicagoland. And the reason being, this track is just it's banked all the way around, and the turn radiuses are different on both ends, and you got to keep some left-hand pressure in the wheel all the time.
Yeah, and I think Dwayne Hall would agree that 4 tires every time you come down would be the right call, Judy.
Yeah, last night we saw some 2-tire changes. Did not work out so well. And I'll tell you, single file racing all the way to the front up here. But I'm seeing some tire smoke coming off of one of these guys. I'm trying to locate it and find out where it's at. But I'm up here in 3rd position with Mike Kuhn. Thought I saw it coming off of his car. Might have been sheet metal rubbing against the tire early on here until the tires get inflated and get heated up here. But I don't see that smoke happening now, but might have been even somebody just getting on the brakes, brake settings off here a little bit.
I'm looking as Ray Moss looking at the inside of Travis Joyner, I believe, in the 19 machine, that hostile contact car. So Travis maybe going backwards a little bit here as the 24 is all over the rear bumper of that car. Is actually backing up as he's a little loose. I believe clipped the apron a little bit there.
Still out in front is Philip Stocks up there. I'll tell you what, he's got a pretty decent lead on these guys. About half a second over Gary Cross, who still sits in 2nd position back here. But I tell you, with 130 laps on the board here, we're going to put 5 of them in the books here already. This is about tire management. So, you know, you're going to see these guys from the get-go. You're going to see them race pretty hard. And then after about 4 or 5 laps, Dakota, you're going to see them settle in here a little bit. Tire management is key if you want to get anywhere. Pit stops, if we go green flag pit stop, we're looking at least maybe 10.7, 11-second pit stops to get in, get out, get back on the track. And track position means everything here at Chicagoland. Now, earlier in pre-race, just before we went to National Anthem, we were talking about the apron line down there. You see, there is no yellow line around Chicagoland Speedway. Every inch of this track all the way to the edge of the grass is usable track, and you can take your car down there and do what you got to do and try to make it happen. Now, you're going to see that happen down the front stretch here periodically. They'll take it right to the edge of the grass, but that transition going to and from, that could take you for an e-ticket ride if you don't make it back up onto the track before you get into turn 1.
Now, I've seen a few guys using that The one thing that I know from personal experience is that apron is generally really loose and difficult to hang on to. So if you get down there, you better make sure you have a stable setup underneath it, because especially if you get on old tires and they're slipping the side around, you could end up in trouble down there.
19th position, guys. Tony Oscar, that 43 machine, might be having some difficulty, kind of going backward. Lost a couple of positions here. Oh, caution's going to come out for the 83 machine. It's going to be 20th position, guys. Don Kelligrew bringing the first caution out here at Chicagoland Speedway, right here on lap 8.
Now watching it, looks like he just got into the back of the Tony Oscar machine. I believe the 43 machine just barely going into the corner. And then he pushed up and got into him and just turned himself around after that.
Yeah, Oscar was having some difficulties earlier, and I saw him back up a couple of positions and maybe handling issues with that 43 machine, but looks like Oscar just came down just a little bit, tagged the 83, and then, of course, the back end of the car of the 83 rolling into the outside wall, going to do a little bit of damage, not much, but as long as that spoiler sticks straight up in the air, he can get down pit road and get some of that sheet metal pulled out.
9 of 134 laps in the books here, as I believe the safety car is leading the field now, so we'll see. I believe pits should be open this time. Who's going to come and who's not going to come, JD?
You know, 9 laps in, you know, if it was me, my crew chief and I, when I was racing, we always had an agreement. Anytime the caution came out, it's 4 tires and fuel for me every time I got a chance. So we'll see what happens here. With only 9 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway, looks like a few of them are going to come down pit road. Leaders are definitely coming down pit road. So it's going to be 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for a lot of these guys. The 11 car, Mike Hebb, opting to stay out for track position. He's going to line up behind the safety car here, and now if he stays out, he'll be picking up the green flag here. And Mike Hebb, we were talking about him earlier. He's got a couple of wins under his belt. He sits second to Warren Peed in the standings here for the chase. So just 3 points off. Hebb looking for a little track position here early on at Chicagoland Speedway.
And John Kennedy in the 14 machine staying out, or opting to stay out there, so he's also right behind Mike Hebb. So maybe a little bit of comfort, maybe not as many lap car or fresh tire cars behind them, except for the fact that they're all behind them now. They're not on his outside anymore, but they're all behind him. So.
All right, pit stops have been completed. Why don't we step away? Let's take our first commercial break of the night. You're watching live ETV Live, so don't wander off, cowboy. We'll be right back. At Hostile Contact, our goal is to provide quality, reliable, and affordable game and voice-over IP service to the online gaming community. We accommodate all the first-person shooters and role-playing games such as America's Army, Battlefield, all the releases of Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and many more. We also provide simulation racing service for many of the online racing games. ARCA, Live for Speed, RFAC. Professional web hosting packages are available. Billing, gaming control panels, Mohawk, Voice, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, 2 and 3, Hostile Contact. It's your only choice for game service. HostileContact.com. Stock Car Evolution 2012 brings the intensity, grit, and roaring sound of NASCAR to the PC and R Factor. You'll quickly find that it is a highly detailed simulation of one of the most detailed and realistic to grace the PC. Stock Car Evolution is a scratch-built stock car simulator mod for R Factor, which has been in development since 2005. It uses real-world information to develop the physics in all 3 NASCAR series, resulting in the most realistic driving experience possible. A dedicated team of developers from former Microsoft and NASCAR software engineers to software developers adds to what is already the most realistic NASCAR simulator on the planet. Simply put, Stock Car Evolution is a true stock car simulator. Stock Car Evolution 2012's new level of detail And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway as we're getting the one to go here. Just working caution number one here came out on lap 8, the 83 car and the 43 car involved. 43 having some handling issues. Looked like the 43 came down on the 83, and that turned the 83 around. Tagged the outside wall just a little bit, but was able to get it down on pit road and get some damage fixed here, Dakota. But I'll tell you what, looks like Tom McKeevy is going to restart and pick up the green flag. Now, Mike Hebb had stayed out. I believe he might have come down pit road.
Yeah, JD, when they came around again, I guess he was staying out to lead a lap, which is smart, gets us bonus points, but he came down the next time. Tom McKeever opting to stay out, and that has put the 29 of Philip Stocks, I believe, sitting, I believe, in second place on the outside row. Not sure here. Yeah, that's Philip Stocks on the outside of Tom McKeever, so Philip Stocks is going to restart second as to where he was running first. I remember that 85 being on really old tires, so I don't know if this is going to take a really long to, or for Philip to take the lead here. So the pace car is off, and they're getting set to take the green flag. Green flag is out, and they're going racing again here, JD.
Tom McKeever picking it up with Stocks on the outside. Gary Cross, Cody Spears, Mike Kuhn, your top five up here on this get-go. 2x2 all the way back here, Cowboy, going up into turn one here. And Tom McKeever getting a pretty good jump on the field up here in the front as he leads them through turn two. Down the back stretch we go. And remember, a lot of left-hand pressure on that steering wheel to keep it off the wall all the way down into turn three. Then you got your choice, either top lane or bottom lane. Make it work for you. The top lane, you can usually get a pretty good head of steam as these guys come off of turn four. Down the front stretch, McKeever going to take them to the line. Score one for Tom McKeevy, so there's his bonus point here for the night.
Philip Stocks closing on that bumper though, so I don't really think it's going to take Philip a real long time to get there, but it looks like Tom McKeever hanging on so far.
I want to mention the fact that Hostile Contact Server is sponsoring the entire Chase Series here with Stock Car Evolution ESRL Pro Series, or the Elite Pro Series. And thank you to Hostile Contact Servers, hostilecontact.com. If you've got a game and you need a server, I'll tell you what, hostilecontact.com. Get a hold of them, get in touch, and get gaming here tonight. But single file all the way back, guys. Back here in 13th position, Chad Cabral in that 54 car. Looking on the inside of Tony Bax on the front up here, but just can't get the horsepower to get up there to his bumper. As Bax takes the outside lane, coming through turn four. 54 car looking on the bottom here as he gets down right close to the apron line here, but just doesn't seem to have the horsepower to get up there with that 27 machine.
Yeah, it really is hard to get around this place. There's actually one car I'm seeing having blue connection issues or maybe some electrical problems, and that'd be the 24. He's moving around quite a bit, so that could be something troublesome for him.
And in the 16th position, let's take it back to Tony Oscar back here, guys. Remember, Tony was involved in that first caution with the 83 car. Looked like he was having some major handling issues just even a couple of laps before that incident, but seems to have it together now. Now, last time around, he tagged the wall coming off of turn four and comes awfully close to it again this time, or actually in turn two, but came awfully close to it this time as he goes off into turn three. Now, Don Kelly just going around him here for position, so move Tony Oscar back to 18th position, actually losing a couple of positions as Paul Roger and Kelly get the run on him.
I'm talking about Joel in the 5 car sitting in 4th position. Looks like he's getting run down by the 8 sitting in 5th position, but he had moved up a little bit. I saw him making a pass earlier. I think they've made some adjustments on that car and made it a lot better than what it was earlier. I could tell he needed that caution earlier. He was moving backwards a little bit. I don't think he was too happy with the car, but he is, as of right now, sitting in a solid 4th place with the 8 car kind of creeping in on him.
Second position up here. There was a pass for a lead here just a short time ago. Tom McKeever gives it up to Philip Stocks, pole sitter. Stocks out in front here at Chicagoland Speedway for the second time. And want to make mention of, we talk about the top 12 drivers coming into the chase, and we make a big deal about it. But I'll tell you what, let's throw a shout out to the rest of these guys. Ron Larkin, Gary Madu, Don Krugel. This is going to be, caution is out on the track for the second time here, guys. See if we can roll it around here and find out who brought that one out. I'm seeing some slow cars. I don't see anybody.
I saw Joe Brown get the wall, but he was like that for a while. It was not him, and I'm seeing it right now, looking for the number who that was. I'm looking, I believe it's at 27 of Tony Bagstad, back all the way in 20th position now, getting into something with the 83 maybe.
Yeah, I'm rolling it back here now, taking a look at it. You're absolutely right. It's going to be 20th position, 27 car of Tony Bagstad. Going down the backstretch here, and he's up on the outside going into the turn, and then Don Kelly, the 83 machine, gets right into the back of Tony's car, the 27 car there, turns him around, and of course the 27 hard hit into the outside wall is going to do a ton of damage, as we see it on the ETV Instant E-Play up there on your screen, and it's just going to spin him right on around hard into the outside wall, and a lot of damage to that 27 car. So second caution of the night here at Chicagoland, and I'm sure it'll be another pit stop for pretty much everybody. I don't know if it was me, I'd be coming down pit road, Dakota.
Yeah, and like you said, almost everybody coming down, and I was really surprised Tom McKee were able to hang on there like he was, and now he's got 4 tires, so you're going to wonder if he'll be able to come out where he was and maybe challenge Philip Stocks again.
Yeah, you bet. We'll see what happens here on pit road as the pace car will lead him down.
Travis Joyner actually staying out in that 19 Hostile Contact Server, GameService.com car, so he's actually out front getting him his sponsor some TV time, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, my bad. I had my game still in replay. They need to build like a reminder in here on this thing, you know. Hey, dude, you're on replay still. But
yeah, that would be nice.
Second caution coming out here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and step away. Let's take another commercial break. You're watching it live, ETV Live, Stock Car Evolution, Chicagoland Speedway. This is the Elite Sim Pro Series. We'll be right back. At Hostile Contact, our goal is to provide quality, reliable, and affordable game and voice-over IP service to the online gaming community. We accommodate all the first-person shooters and role-playing games such as America's Army, Battlefield, all the releases of Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and many more. We also provide simulation racing servers for many of the online racing games. ARCA, Live for Speed, RFAC. Professional web hosting packages are available. Billing, gaming control panels, Mohawk, Voice, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, 2 and 3, Hostile Contact. It's your only choice for game servers. HostleContact.com. Stock Car Evolution 2012 brings the intensity, grit, and roaring sound of NASCAR to the PC and R Factor. You'll quickly find that it is a highly detailed simulation of one of the most detailed and realistic to grace the PC. Stock Car Evolution is a scratch-built stock car simulator mod for R Factor, which has been in development since 2005. It uses real-world information to develop the physics in all 3 NASCAR series, resulting in the most realistic driving experience possible. A dedicated team of developers from former Microsoft and NASCAR software engineers to software developers adds to what is already the most realistic NASCAR simulator on the planet. Simply put, Stock Car Evolution is a true stock car simulator. Stock Car Evolution 2012's new level of detail in both physics and graphics, combined with years of development, make this version the best stock car racing simulator to date. Stock Car Evolution would also like to thank all of the leagues that tested our beta versions at ESRL and provided valuable information and feedback. You can't get the thrilling sense of speed, the ever-present danger, the feel of the track, the nerves of steel required while watching it on TV. Stock Car Evolution 2012 does all that and more, offering up thrilling racing action with the realism that hardcore fans crave. Do you have what it takes? Find out at StockCarEvolution.com. All right, and we are back here live at Chicagoland Speedway, getting ready to roll this thing out to green flag one more time here. Pace cars coming down the front row here, and I believe they'll get to one to go. Working caution number 2 here came out on lap 20, the 83 car and the 27 hooking up on the backstretch, and of course the 83 car sustained too much damage and I believe is on the hauler and headed for the barn. In the meantime, I think we've got Tom McKeever, who's sitting second to Philip Stocks up here on the radio. Tom, you got us on the radio?
10-4, yeah.
Hey, bud, working the second caution here, 24 laps in the books here. You got something for Stocks up in front of you there?
I don't know. You know, we're pretty even. I think it's going to come down to talent and maybe taking care of the tires.
110 laps to go, and certainly if this thing goes green, you got about 56 laps or so to get a green flag pit stop. Your crew geared up and ready to go, get that fast pit stop in?
I hope so. I promised them all a case of beer.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, how's the car handling? Any changes? You're good to go?
I'm good to go. I lost a lot of track position on the start of the race there, so I took the 2 tires to try and get back up front here. And it was a good little test. The car handled pretty good with the 2 tires. Okay, we got to go.
All right, bud. Good luck. All right, Tom McKeever on the radio there as we pick up the green flag. Philip Stocks out in front with McKeever up on the top here. And you heard him going to try to put something together and go after Philip Stocks. And he's got about 110 laps to do it in here at Chicagoland Speedway.
But remember, last time Philip Stocks was out front, he just drove off and left the field. I'm kind of wondering if it's clean air thing or not. But seems like when Philip Stocks was caught up in the draft, he had a little bit of trouble. But as I say that, Tom McKeever closing in on his bumper, JD.
Yeah, and McKeever does have a green flag on the seat of his car in there, so he was able to pick one up so far, but lost it to Stocks. But I tell you what, I think he was able to stay right with him, as you can see right now. Stocks not letting, McKeever not letting Stocks get too far out in front of him, but rolling it back through the field here. Pretty much single file coming down the backstretch. Not a whole lot of action taking place here. Now this is a little bit unusual. Usually we see them duking it out for position here for about 3 or 4 laps and then get settled in for a pretty long run here. But these guys seem to be taking it easy, minding those tires. Right side tires a big issue here at Chicago from what the guys were saying down in the garage.
It always is. I mean, it's one of the hardest parts, one of the hardest places to get your tire wear right, and camber and caster. I mean, where all that comes in. Technically, it's really hard to get that dialed in. I've tried doing it quite a while ago, or here recently actually for this week, and it's difficult. And I give props to these guys to get it done, and for the tires to last as long as they do without popping or blowing up or anything.
You bet. These guys seem to be pretty much evenly paced here as. We put 28 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway, and again, the entire chase series being sponsored by Hostile Contact Simulation Game Servers, HostileContact.com. And I understand the 19 car is that's Travis Joyner back in 14th position. The 19 car running with the Hostile Contact logos on it. So big thank you to Hostile Contact and Travis Joyner, that number 19 car down here. Travis having a pretty decent night. Pretty sharp looking car as well, as our cameraman gets a pretty awesome shot of the 19 machine there, the hood of the car, HostileContact.com on the hood there.
Yeah, and remember, he is a little bit further back than he might have been before, because he did stay out and lead a lap, get his sponsor some TV time, and then he went around and pitted the next time by, so he was put at the rear of the field and has worked his way up a few spots. That's what it looks like.
And Robin joining us tonight, and of course SCE says related to Hood, Robin Hood, cute SCE. I got a funny feeling that SCE over there in the chat room, that's probably going to be Gary Madu, if I'm sure. But Ray Shannonette tuning in, watching here tonight, logged in, Robin, and of course the ETV Live crew. Interactive entertainment here tonight, guys. The ETV Live, always like to mix it up with the fans over in the chat room here tonight. 31 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway, and things are pretty much straight and narrow here for the time being. I got a feeling these guys are just going to put it on cruise control here for a little while, Dakota, and just kind of ride this storm out a little bit. And usually, you know, like we see on TV, the race really doesn't start until about the last 15, 20 laps. So I tell you, things are looking pretty sweet for now.
Tom and Key were starting to close in a little bit on Philip Stockton. I was kind of shocked. Philip kind of drove away a little bit, got a little bit of a gap, and it seems like he fell off. Either he's trying to save his tires or he burned them up already. And McKeever kind of closing in just a little bit, and that's your battle for the lead. I mean, they're right there. The top four cars are right there, probably within a tenth or two of each other, or not a tenth, probably less than a second or so. But I mean, they're all right there, so I think they're all within striking distance if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and McKee were talking about that two-tire stop. So, you know, we saw what happened last night. Didn't quite work out for a couple of drivers, but we'll see what the 85 can do with two tires right now. I tell you what, he's staying right with Philip Stocks, just about a tenth of a second off, so a car length, let's call it. But all the way going through the back here, positions are pretty much spread out here. These guys put it on cruise control, and we're just driving. Getting down the wire here, now 43 car back in 17th position. Remember the 43 involved in that first caution with the 83 car. That was back on lap 8. 43 car was having some handling issues early on. Looked to be pretty much worked out now, but significantly off the pace. That 43 car all the way back here in 17th position, about 7 seconds off the leaders up here. So he's got some distance to make up here.
And Joel Brown on the 5 car, just momentarily, I was watching him. He was slowing down. He kept clipping the apron, and ever since I talked to him, he was in sitting like 4th position. He started getting really loose. I went way to the back, and I was looking at him again a little bit ago. He was sitting about 15th. He's having a lot of trouble hanging on his car. He brought it down pit road, and I saw him just turn straight for the garage. So I believe that should be his night.
You bet. And you just saw the telemetry up on the screen there. We got a name. We got to figure out some kind of a name for that. But John Wessling spent about 87 hours working on that deal this morning, I guess, and looks pretty cute. Looks pretty awesome up there on the screen. We got to figure out some way to get it on a like a different part of the page or something. I don't know. It sounds like another project coming at ETV Live for sure. But something unique here on ETV Live, always pushing the bar. You're going to find something new here all the time. Race is also being broadcast on the ETV Live radio. That's something new here. And you can catch different programs here on ETV Live, as well as 24/7 classic rock every day, all day. On Monday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. You want to catch the And the Winner Is Motorsport Show with Wesley Outland and Mike Neff. And I tell you, this is down-home, countrified, backyard racing cowboy from places like Hickory Speedway, Orange County Speedway, North Wilkesboro, South Boston. These are all the hometown tracks where the racing is just outstanding. So catch the And the Winner Is Motorsport Show on Monday nights from 6 to 8, followed by the Real Sim Racing Chase for the Cup here at Chicagoland Speedway at 9 o'clock p.m. Monday. And then Tuesday night, Open Paddock on ETV Live Radio, 9:30 p.m. That's all about the American Open Wheel F1 stuff, the Izod Indy cars, Mazda Road to Indy, Sean Pitchin and his guys. And, of course, you and I, Dakota, on Fridays from 7 to 8 o'clock on the Pit Report. So we're all produced here at ETV Live and live on ETV Live Radio. From the ETV Live website, etv-eplay.net.
JD, that Monday night is actually, I can call it the chase for the awesome seat, as they get the Bob Royal Racing seat if they win the championship. And also Friday nights, also something you don't want to miss, like JD said, a lot of fun and some new segments coming. I believe we're going to have Michael Connie start coming in. He's a DWC driver from iRacing. And a few interesting conversations or segments about the start, and maybe a little unrated possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Every time you get Mike Conti in the booth, you never know what's going to happen. But on the hauler headed for the barn here tonight, Tony Oscar, you heard Dakota talking about him here just a little while ago, decided to drive it off, put it behind the wall. Joel Brown, that number 5 machine, and the 83 car. Of course, the 83 car sustained a lot of damage, a couple of cautions he was involved in, one on lap 8, the last one on lap 20. And I'm hearing the 75 car going around here. Looks like he might have got the boot here too as well, guys. Caution number 3 coming out here on the track. It's going to be Terry Milford, I believe. Yeah, the caution is out. It looks like Dan Mueller, looks like that 6 car, looks like he might have, well, now the camera, I got to change my camera angle here. Yeah, it is. The 6 car and the 75 car tangle up here. And it looks like the 6 car just kind of drove it up the hill into the 75 machine, spinning the 75 out. Oh, door slammed it into the outside wall. That's going to put a lot of damage on the right side of that 75 car. As we pull it up on the ETV E-Wine machine over here, you can see where the 6 car looks like a crossover move by the 75, but then the 6 drifts up right into the left side corner panel and pushes the 75 right up into the wall, and around he goes. So caution number 3 here at Chicagoland Speedway.
The 11 Mike Hebb also has a little bit of damage in our right front fender. I was watching and I saw a little bit of smoke, went back and looked for it. The 11 pounded the wall, I guess, because his right front is caved in. And also, JD, looking in the chat room, somebody just joining us, Mr. Joe Brown, the driver of the number 5 machine. Unfortunate that I think I jinxed him out of his race, but he is at least coming back to see what happened.
You bet. And they're all headed down pit road, so it'll be 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for all of these guys, I'm sure. And you know, if I was Tom McKeever, you know, I was able to hang with Philip Stocks up there in front. It's going to be 4 tires here. Remember, he had a 2-tire change last time, so for sure it will be 4 here this time around. Now, his pit box is about the middle of pit road here, so he's quite a ways back from Philip Stocks. Remember, Philip Stocks started on the pole here. He's got that number 1 pit box up here. So we'll see how it shakes out here as we get things going. 54 car Chad Crabal overshot his pit box. He's going to have to back it up as the tires come to a screeching halt. So he's going to lose a ton of time here off of pit road. And it looks like Philip Stocks able to get out in front of Tom McKeevy. McKeevy having a fast pit stop here, guys, able to maintain that 2nd position behind that 29 car. So caution number 3 here at Chicagoland Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and step away? Let's take another commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live, Stock Car Evolution Elite Pro Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Alright, and we are back live at Chicagoland Motor Speedway as we're still pacing, and I believe JD has got Mr. Mike Hebb on the radio.
You bet. Mike, this is Dakota and JD up in the booth. You got us up here?
Yep, 10-4.
Hey, bud, you're sitting back here in looks like 13th position. You're coming into the race tonight with good, solid statistics here. 3 wins, 2 top 5s, 13 top 10s, Cowboy. I tell you what, you got something for these boys here tonight?
Well, I don't know. You know, we had a bad qualifying in the second lap there and got stuck in the back. So, and then I kind of wrecked there coming out of turn 4, so my car's a little damaged now. So we'll have to wait and see.
How about track conditions? Everything seems to be looking pretty good. These guys don't seem to be racing it out like we've seen in the first part of the race when we get to going green here, but looks to be settling in. These guys just putting it on cruise control, waiting for that last 15, 20, or what's going on down there, do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking guys are, just getting ready for some long runs here and see what everybody's got. My car runs a lot better on the long run, so hopefully we can get up towards the front.
All right, Mike Hebb down there in number 29 machine. Pace car is going to come by, and I believe it's going to be 1 to go here. Mike, good luck to you, bud. I know you got some work to do. We'll cut you loose.
Thanks, man.
Mike Hebb coming into the first race of the chase, guys, in second position, just 3 points in back of Warren Peed. And Mike Hebb, of course, with a pretty solid list of statistics here, 13 top 10 finishes. I tell you what, consistency pays off. That's why he's sitting in the second seat here in the chase for the Cup here with the Stalker Evolution Elite Pro Series. Of course, tonight's race, Dakota, is sponsored by Hostile Contact Simulation Game Servers. And I don't care what kind of game it is. If it's a third-person shooter game, the racing games, you name it, they got it. And see Hostile Contact Simulation Game Servers for your server needs, hostilecontact.com.
And again, that is on the number 19 machine, so watch that machine to come towards the front.
Yeah, and we apologize. Sometimes we do get mixed up here with the names. It's actually Tom McKeever, not McKeevy. We get mixed up because the names over the top of the cards on our telemetry here, it kind of cuts the last part of the name off. So I'm looking at Tom McKeeve, actually, but his name is Tom McKeever. Picking up the green flag, Philip Stocks. He's got a pile of them on the front seat up there with him. Tom McKeever on the outside, Gary Cross, Ray Moss, and Mike Kuhn. We haven't talked a lot about him here lately either. Mike Kuhn is doing a pretty good job here tonight. He sits along with about 5 or 6 other drivers in the middle of the pack here. In the standings, just 6 points off the leader. Mike Kuhn starting in 4th, and I'll tell you what, looks like he's going to have a pretty good night here tonight.
Like I told you, JD, if they pinch you down, you can't turn off the corner, and they can get the spot from you. Tom McKeever did that to Gary Cross going into turn number 1, almost all the way around the track. He was able to hold him down so he couldn't get to run off, and McKeever was able to get that run and take the position.
You've been watching these guys, I've been watching pretty much all these guys go around this track here tonight. A lot of them taking that bottom line through turn 3 and 4. I find that a little bit unusual. It's always been my experience at turn 3 and 4, the fastest part of the track has always been that middle lane, not quite up to the wall, but just about the center lane. We see the 11 car of Mike Hebb in 12th position here, get passed by the number 6 of Dan Mueller. That's going to be for 11th position as Mueller goes past the 11 car here. But that upper lane just doesn't seem to be working like I have seen it work back in the day when I used to race. So I don't know. Probably setup differences. These guys are certainly a whole lot faster than now than I was back then. So of course back then we're talking about 100 years ago.
Yeah, Gary Cross, just about 5th place, is going backwards in a hurry. So 16 also coming for him. I believe that's not sure right there, but I mean he was going backwards. He was side by side with Mike Kuhn for a while. He's made contact with a 24.
Several times, bounces off the wall, gets into the side of the 24, but no harm, no foul. We still got these ponies pointing forward as Gary Cross tangles with that apron line down there, almost losing it. Gathers it back up. 6th position for that 69 car, but I tell you, Ray Moss feeling the pains of that 69 car behind him as he drives off. But Ray Moss in that 24 in 5th position up here, running down Dustin Storm, who sits in 4th in that 16 machine. You saw him gain a position here about a half a lap ago as well.
You gotta wonder if something's wrong with the Gary Cross machine. So now here comes Cody Sears on the inside, or attempting to get to the inside. Gary looked out of control there, and he is little off the pace, I think, because he is getting run down by just about everybody on the track.
You bet. Watching the 69 sixth position back here, Gary Cross looks like he's backed it down quite a bit since that tangle with the 24 car here a little bit. I don't know whether he's got a little bit of front end damage off of that or not, but the sixth position 69 car of Gary Cross really backing it down here quite a bit. I would think, you know, it's got to be, you know, draft is a big thing here, Dakota, all the way around this track, in fact. So I tell you, if you damage the front end of your car here at Chicagoland Speedway, there's a good chance that, you know, it's going to slow you down quite a bit. And that may be what we're seeing out of that 69 car. In 7th position, Cody Sears drawing right up to the bumper of that 69 car here coming down the front stretch.
Speaking of draft, one guy who only has one car drafting him, that's Philip Stocks up front. Him and Tom McKeever had ran away from the field in first and second position. Those two pretty much setting sail. I'm seeing everybody quite a ways away behind them.
About 1.8 seconds back in third position, Mike Kuhn back here, guys, and I tell you, he's got kind of a tanglefoot of cars back here. The 24 car of Ray Moss hanging right there with them. And Dustin Storm as well in fourth position, that 16 machine. So, but they're about 1.9 seconds back from the leaders up here. So either these guys have put it on cruise control and the leaders haven't figured out what that is yet, or Philip Stocks and Tom McKeever's cars are just that good.
Gary Cross is now sitting in the 13th position. He getting loose or something. I believe him and the 8 made contact, and he has been into the wall and is now running back there quite a few positions behind where he was. Makes contact again with a 75 that time. That's moving him back to the 14th position. Gary Cross is in trouble right now, JD.
Yeah, I'm just watching it here, roll it back on my monitor here. Looks like Gary Cross coming off a turn 2 here. He's going to kind of take a side swipe off the 75 car. 14th position back here. About lap 57 or so. But the handling is certainly going away on that 69 machine of Gary Cross.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, he just continues to go backwards. That car is in trouble. JD is actually... I mean, it's like he tries to make a race with the 75, but he's not getting anywhere. I think he's just going to fall off. I kind of wonder if we won't see him coming down pit road here soon and get some repair or something. I know we saw Joe Brown. He took out early because his car was just, he told me, crap after he hit the apron and tried to save it when he got loose and hit the wall. But Gary Cross making the pass underneath the 75. Terry Milford for 14th or 13th position.
And as you can see the dynamics up there on the screen, the telemetry coming from the cars, you can see where they are in relation to the track. The leader just going across the start finish line, and then the 54 car, he's the last car in line back there, about half a lap away on the other side of the track. So that's going to be Chad Kerbal pretty much running by himself. He's in 17th position. As you can see on the graphic up there on the screen, but Chad having some difficulty here tonight, most likely with the handling of that machine. 60 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway. We'll be getting on to the short side of things here pretty quick. But Philip Stocks out here in front, that first position up here, that 29 machine, certainly having a good night. Tom McKeever been chasing him down from the get-go. Of course, Tom McKeever, he's got a couple of green flags. He's toting along there with them, and but Philip Stocks overtook him here and was able to get it back. This is about 30-40 laps ago, actually. But so McKeever had a little bit of taste of what it's like up in the front. But I'll tell you, he may be setting Philip Stocks up for a pass, just waiting for the appropriate time. That probably won't come until about 10 to go here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, and I'm looking back here, back in the 8th position, Travis Joyner, remember that hostile contact car, has just made the pass for 8th position over Tony Bagstad in the 27, so mark him up another spot. Travis is on the move.
And the
Caution.
caution's coming out. Caution is out on the track, guys, as we roll it around here and try to find out who.
Greg Gurk, I believe, is who that is.
I'm hearing 17th position. I'm hearing 17th position, guys, in the number 10 car. Greg Gurk looks like all by himself going into turn 3 down the backstretch, and just loses it and comes around and going to tag the outside wall. That's typically what happens here, and then down across the track, and then noses it into the inside wall. Tough night for that 10 car, and he's going to put it behind the wall and call it a night, Dakota.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll reach him for comment after that one. That would be one I would be in the holler and talking to my crew chief and trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, it just, we're about, I think we're about 16, 17 laps into that run from the last, actually almost 20 laps. I think we're about 20 laps into the run, so it could have been a tire issue. Remember, right side tires being a big deal here. As we hear pit road is now open. But, go ahead.
I believe it'll only be good to about lap 110, I think, from here, if that's correct. So we're still going to be short on fuel either way here.
Yeah, at least 2 more stops here at Chicagoland Speedway for these guys. 63 laps in the book. So I tell you, that was the longest run I believe we've had all night. About 21 laps. Everybody's coming down. It'll be 4 tires and a bucket full of gas. For all these guys, Philip Stock's occupying that first box up there in the front. As it looks like Gary Cross, that 69 machine, having difficulty getting into his box, has to back it up, square it up. You cannot have a tire over the line. You will not get service. As Gary Cross still working that car frontward and backwards, and maybe having some transmission problems, guys. That 69 car in big trouble, sitting there on pit road in 15th position.
That is unfortunate for him.
As he gets it fired up and is able to get it off, but probably transmission troubles. As he had to back it up and pull it forward. He did that about 3 or 4 times and finally got it going, but Gary Cross having some difficulty there on pit road.
Travis Joyner up to the 8th position, so he is moving up, like we said, sitting in the 8th, and in front of him in 7th position the 61, Warren Pete, your current points leader coming into the race. You gotta wonder, is he gonna be able to lead the points leader, or is he gonna be stuck where he's at, maybe?
Yeah, that could be, and I'll tell you what, this thing's shaping up to look like a pretty good race. Now, 24 car out in front with Philip Stocks as well. So this is something new as well. 24 car, I believe, was involved. Or no, he was not involved in a caution. I'm thinking of last night. Boy, the 24 car is on my mind for some reason. But I'll tell you what, with 65 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway, I want to talk to you about the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Seat. This is a simulation racing cockpit designed by championship race car driver Bob Earl. Now, if you haven't seen this thing, you got to check this out. Now, who better to design your simulation racing cockpit than a real race car driver? And the design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame, additional monitor stand and shifter mount sold separately. High quality and very affordable. Heck, it's a Christmas present, birthday present, $349 plus shipping. You can see it at BobEarlRacing.com. Order one tonight, cowboy. BobEarlRacing.com. And Gary Madu in the booth with us here for a little bit. We're working caution number 4 here at Chicagoland Speedway. This is Stock Car Evolution's Elite Pro Series. And Stock Car Evolution, Gary, what's the latest news, bud?
Nothing new to report. Just working on more tracks and whatever bugs people are finding. But everybody's loving the new 2012 physics.
You bet. And the Hostile Contacts coming on board, sponsoring the entire chase season here tonight, I understand.
Yeah, that was something we worked on for a little while and got them interested. And with the caliber of driving and with your broadcast, it's a win-win situation for everybody involved.
You bet. And as you can see the graphic up on the screen, hostile-contact-servers.com, actually hostile-contact.com, hostile contact simulation gaming servers. And I'll tell you, they've got the third person, first person, eighth person shooter games, all the different kind of racing games, the R Factor, ARCA, you name it, they can do it. R Factor 2, they're getting that set up. But thanks, Gary, for joining us up here in the booth, bud.
No problem, man. It's a great race the guys are putting on.
May do. May do. All right, I think we're going to be going green here. Pace car is pulling off.
Philip
And
Stock's
back
leading him to the green flag. Once again, as the green flag is out, he gets a good jump on the restart. Once again,
I tell you, Philip Stocks, he's got a pile of green flags on the front seat up there with him. Mike Kuhn down there on the bottom. But Ray Moss in that 24 car sneaking up inside the top 5 here, guys. We haven't seen him this far forward for quite some time. But 24 car, Ray Moss getting passed by the 16 car, going down the backstretch, coming off of turn 2. More position here. So with 16 car, Dustin Storm working hard, goes around the 24 for position. That'll be third as 24 drops to fourth. And looking back through the lineup here, guys, all the way back ninth position, 21 car Paul Rogers, really off the pace on the get-go here, as he's trying to play catch-up with the 69 of Gary Cross, 10 car behind in 10th position back here. But Gary Cross now going to go past Paul Roger on the backstretch for position. That's ninth position back here, guys. But they're significantly off the pace.
Travis Joyner was actually given an in-the-line penalty in the last caution. Has moved his way up to the 13th so far. And also, Tom McKeever has moved his way back up to 5th. I don't know what happened to him. I believe he lost a few spots on pit road there, JD. He was tailing the leader.
All right, and he's got his work cut out for him. 5th position here, Tom McKeever. He's got a couple of guys up in front of him. He's got to get around. One of them is going to be Ray Moss in that 24 car, sitting in 4th position. Just in front of him, Dustin Storm at 16. Coming on like gangbusters from the restart, and there goes Dustin Storm down across the apron, back up across the track right after the start-finish line. That's the part of the track we were talking about earlier. Some think it's a little bit faster getting your car down there, but I don't know. After being behind the wheel of one of these things a few years back, I really don't know if it's that much faster or not, Dakota.
It depends a lot on your setup and which sim you're in.
Now you can run your car all the way down to that, the green grass down there. But of course, keep your tires off that green grass. That's an e-ticket ride for sure. But the trick is to get it down past that apron line, make that transition, because that part of the track on that apron line is flat. The track, up on the other side of that white line is banked. It's banked all the way around. So making that transition at 190 miles an hour going into turn 1. That could be an e-ticket ride if you're not careful, and you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. 72 laps in the books here at Chicagoland Speedway, moving back through the field here a little bit. 10th position, Dan Mueller in that 6 car. A little bit of damage to the right, to the left side of that Miller car. I think it came from, I was back on lap 42, I believe, the 3rd caution. He tangled with the 75 car, as you recall. So as long as that spoiler stays stuck straight up in the air, Dakota, he's good to go here. But Dan Mueller running in 10th position behind Gary Cross.
How about Travis Joyner? Like I said, getting that in the longest line penalty all the way up to 12th position. So he's picked up a whole nother spot, and he is working on getting the 11th position. He works on the inside of the 75 of Terry Milford. I believe he's trying to get to the inside. Can't quite get there. But I mean, that car is on a roll.
Yeah, he is. And watching 13th position, Mike Hebb in behind Travis Joyner here coming down the front stretch. He's pretty much the last car, and then all the way back to 14th, Tony Bagstad in that 27 car. He's way off the pace here. All the way back here in 14th position. In fact, I think Tony looks like he's sitting about 7 seconds off. Now, I got to think this might be, some damage playing the part here. Remember, he got damage on lap 20 on the second caution with the 83 machine. So you can see the result of that damage on the left side of his car too, right there in the back. And the spoiler is bent just a little bit, so that's certainly going to affect his handling here tonight.
I'm starting to wonder if Tom McKeever's handling wasn't affected. He is sitting in fifth. He's moving back and forth, like he'll run him down and then he'll have to back way up and he'll get run down. So I'm not sure what's up with that car, but I think he might be stuck where he's at. And the way it's looking, it's really hard to pass here. And we've heard a lot of drivers talk about that throughout the week in the different sims. I know this is probably no different. So I think Tom McKeever might be in a dangerous position, not being able to pass and having a fast car.
Yeah, that certainly might be the case here at Chicagoland Speedway, but I tell you, I don't know. I've seen these guys. You watch these guys after 26 races, and they don't really get with it until the last 15, 20 laps. You really see them cut them ponies loose and start working over the positions. So I don't know if this is what we're seeing here at Chicagoland here tonight. Or not, but Tom McKeever certainly wishing he was probably a little bit closer to Stocks up there in front. But I got a funny feeling that 85 car could probably put it up there in front when he wants to. We still got about 54, 53 laps to go here at Chicagoland, 52 laps or so. So there's still quite a bit of racing left to do. We do have, we know that they have to come down pit road one more time, and if it's green flag, that's where he's going to get the position back. Tom McKeever's been awfully fast on pit road here tonight, able to hang right with Stocks on those pit stops, getting in and getting out. So I got a funny feeling that McKeever will be there. McKeever will be there before the end of the summer.
And actually, looking at, we have about 55 to 56 laps, or somewhere in that window there left. So they could pit about any time now, and I believe making on fuel. So it'd be interesting to see if we don't have anybody come down here soon. It's a 16 going backwards on the outside lane of Dustin Storm, who was in the fourth position. Actually, was about third or second, but he's going backwards now. But they could pit just about any time now, and that may play a role into this. But as you saw, with the 16 getting on the outside, Dustin Storm, he went way back there. I think that's why everybody's afraid to pass. If you get out of the line, I think you're just going to go way back.
Yeah, and McKeever going around the 16. So, here you go. Tom McKeever now in fourth position. So he's picking him off here for sure, trying to get back up there to Stokes. So, or Stocks rather, Philip Stocks in that 29 car.
And how about that hostile contacts car? Got to keep mentioning it. From at the end of the line, it has moved from last time we talked about 12th or 13th. It is currently in the 9th position, just overtook Dan Mueller sitting in 10th position. So this car is on a roll. He's now set his sights on the 14th of the 14 of John Kennedy in 8th position.
You bet. And I'll tell you, watching that 16 machine 7th position down here, looks like he was having a little bit of difficulty. He actually backs it up a couple of more notches and is going to lose position to Cody Sears and Warren Peed. So that 16 car was up in front. McKeever went around, now going backwards, gets passed by Sears and Storms. Peed and Sears. So Dustin Storm, now again, we're 20, let's call it 20 laps, 19, 20 laps from that last caution, Dakota. So we may be seeing what could be some tire wear happening right side, really important here at Chicagoland Speedway. So Dustin Storm may be having to back it off because of some tire wear on that right side.
Yeah, I noticed right now up front, the 29 of Philip Stocks had pulled away. He's got just about a second lead over these guys. So, he has set sail, and I believe everybody else's tires have possibly fallen off.
And caution is out on the track here, guys, as we try to roll it around here. I think it might be the 6 car of Dan Mueller. Roll it back here and see C69 and the 6 car making contact, and it's actually going to be Gary Cross. Oh, 3 of them involved. The 6 car actually tags the wall, but I believe I believe
Mike
the 11
Hebb.
of Mike Hebb might be involved. It's going to be 16th position back here.
That's unfortunate for Mike, as we were just talking to him just a little bit earlier. It's the ETV Jinx. We got Joel with it. Now we've got him.
Yeah, I'm rolling it back here on my machine as we can see it come up on the ePlay window up there. I'm going to get a different camera on it here. But it looks like Mueller gets into the back of Gary Cross. This is Gary Cross passing for position. And then right at the entrance of the turn here, just into the turn, looks like Cross gets off the gas a little bit. The 6 car kind of tags him in the bumper, and then the 11 car tags the 6 car, kind of a chain reaction deal. And the 6, Dan Mueller, are going to take the worst of the damage here on caution number 5 here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Do you believe there are 50 laps to go, if I'm correct right now in saying that? And that would mean, with everybody coming down, they should be good to go on fuel, so we might not see them coming back down unless there's another caution, in which you might come down and get tires just to keep your car up to speed.
You bet. And this should be the last pit stop of the night, Dakota. So as they come down and get 4 tires and fuel, it's a race off pit road. Warren Peavy and Tom McKeevy side by side here. Warren Peed, rather, side by side coming off the pit road here. And Tom McKeever is going to come out in 5th position. So again, losing time to Philip Stocks. And a 75 car, Terry Milford, looks like did he stay out? He had to have stayed out. I think 75 car will probably come back around second time.
All for that Covenant bonus point, JD. But I just want to point out here, the points leader is currently sitting in 4th position, and if Philip or Terry Milford goes down pit road, he'll be sitting in the 3rd position. So the point leader has put himself again in the position to be up front. And this is a guy like I remember last time I was here with these guys, he ended up winning. He snuck his way up there, and I mean he's a guy you don't hear from much in the beginning of the race, it seems like, but he gets there in the end, and he's getting it done tonight.
Absolutely, and Philip Stocks coming in 7th position. Of course, he shares the seat with a number of drivers, 6 points off the lead up there. But we'll see what he's got here at Chicagoland Speedway tonight. Let's go ahead and step away, take a commercial break. I got to refill my my cup, so don't wander off, cowboy. We'll take a commercial break right here. At Hostile Contact, our goal is to provide quality, reliable, and affordable game and voice-over IP service to the online gaming community. We accommodate all the first-person shooters and role-playing games such as America's Army, Battlefield, all the releases of Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and many more. We also provide simulation racing service for many of the online racing games. ARCA, Live for Speed, RFAC, professional web hosting packages are available. Billing, gaming control panels, Mohawk Voice, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, 2 and 3, Hostile Contact. It's your only choice for game service. HostileContact.com. Our Factor 2 servers now available at HostileContact.com. You order your server now at the introductory price of only $1.49 USD per slot. We will automatically upgrade your server to the full release R Factor 2 game as soon as it is released from beta. HostileContact.com now offering R Factor 2 beta servers for all pre-release orders. Our pre-release price is $1.49 a slot. This price will be adjusted as we evaluate resource usage, racers anti-cheat, and R Factor hot laps will be available soon. And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway here tonight with the SCE Stock Car Evolution. Do you have what it takes, cowboy? I tell you what, StockCarEvolution.com. Hostile Contact Simulation Servers sponsoring the Chase Series here for Elite Pro Series at Stock Car Evolution. And working off our fifth caution here tonight, guys, the 6, the 11, and 69 car involved 6 car taking the worst of the damage, came on lap 84. Dakota, we're set up now. We should be good to go to the checkered flag. However, looking back through the stats, we're getting about 20 lap runs between caution flags. So my book says one more to go here as we take the green flag.
Yeah, and I was just partying in the chat room with a Ray C, but looking back in 8th position, I wanted to point this out. The guy had a in the longest line penalty last time. He moved his way back inside the top 10. That hostile contact car. He has been fast, and I'm telling you, he's got to look for it in the end. As we have a car around in the back of the field, caution is out. That is the 54, I believe, of Chad Saber.
Chad Cabral, I believe. That's going to be the 54 car. Chad Cabral, 16th position coming around. Roll it back here and see what happens here. It looks like he tangles with that outside wall just after the safety barrier and hits the hard part of the wall. Looks like he actually takes a bounce off. Right there in coming off of turn 2, guys, and that is a trick. When you're up on the outside, you really have to get off the throttle because that wall does come up quick. The car tends to push up the hill coming off turn 2, and Chad Cabral, that 54 car, bounces off the wall and then all the way across the grass, noses it into the inside wall, and does a lot of damage to his machine. So, and of course, does that pirouette e-ticket ride through the grass, and unfortunately for him, going to put it behind the wall, Dakota, and call it a night here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, really hard hit, and pit road is up. We're going to see if any takers. I believe a few guys faking it. John Kennedy going to go down. He's the first car to go down, I do believe. Gary Cross going down, and a few other guys that I see back there. But Cody Sears was one of the first guys that faked it.
All right, and now that caution doesn't count for the one I was talking about earlier. And there is no lucky dog. Everybody pretty much staying on the lead lap here tonight too, guys. That's a pretty good deal. Last night's race, we were seeing drivers getting past anywhere from 8 to 10 laps into the race. So everybody on the lead lap here at Chicagoland Speedway here tonight. Let's go ahead and throw another shout out to ETV Live Radio. I tell you, if you haven't heard it yet, ETV Live Radio, supported by HD Radio Network. ETV Live Radio features classic rock every hour, every day. You can also catch the live events starting out on Monday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. Wesley Outland, Michael Neff. And I'll tell you, if you're into the down-home, countrified, short-track racing, whether on asphalt or dirt, you got to listen to this show. They bring you the race results from weekends worth of racing. Of course, Wesley Outland, a celebrated track announcer, travels all over the South, just about any given track, and you'll find Wesley Outland calling the race. But as the winner, and the winner is Motorsport Show from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday nights, and on Tuesday nights on ETV Live Radio, Open Paddock. Now, Open Paddock is brought to us by Sean Peachin, J. Douglas Patterson, Mike Witzel. It's all about the IndyCar, IZOD IndyCar, Mazda Road to Indy, a little bit of F1 news from around the globe. But it's a pretty cool show to listen to as well at 9:30 on Tuesday nights. And, of course, the Pit Report, yours truly, and Dakota Irvin. Here on Friday nights, Mike Conti going to join us with a new segment to here coming up this Friday. May turn into some adult entertainment later on, but hey, you never know. The FCC does not rent rooms from ETV Live. So ETV Live Radio, get to it, etv-eplay.net. We're also on iTunes, Windows Media Guide, and TuneIn.com.
I always go for that extra plug out for the Pit Report, as it is my own show. Like I said earlier, lots of fun. Don't forget to tune in.
Now, like I said before, Dakota, this caution does not count We were only about 5 laps out from caution number 5. So I still think we've got one more coming in about 20 laps, and that's going to put us right at the right on the edge here. So we'll see what happens. John Kennedy in the 15th position, opting to come down pit road one more time, and not sure why. He either missed the mark on his first time out, but it looks like it's going to be tires and fuel for the 14 car here this time around. Now when he comes back out, he's going to be at the end of the line. So if he hopes to gain any positions, he's going to have to go do it quick. 92 laps in the books here, 134 laps on the board, so we are on the short side of things here at Chicagoland Speedway.
And watching is in the chat room, the pace car driver has joined in, is what I'm seeing here. That's a little interesting, JD.
The pace car. Hey, the pace car driver. That sounds like a good job for retirement too. I mean, I'd like to drive the pace car. I'm hearing it's Ram Jam's brother Bob. Now is that like somebody from Talladega Nights, or what is that? Kind of like the Bob and Bob show. Pace car driver. All right, I believe we're going to get the one to go this time by. And big shout out to Hostile Contact Simulation Gaming Servers, sponsoring the entire Chase series here at Stock Car Evolution, the Elite Pro Series on Sunday nights. Hostile Contact providing quality, reliable, and affordable gaming and voice over IP. I keep leaving that part out. Voice over IP, such as Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, and what's that other one they keep talking about?
I have no idea.
I need our camera guy to push the button, throw that Hostile Contact thing up there, so I can see what that other voice over IP thing is. But the Hostile Contact gaming servers, hostilecontact.com. First, Mohawk. Yeah, what is Mohawk? I've never heard of Mohawk, but Mohawk, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak 2, TeamSpeak 3. They got it all, cowboy. It's a one-stop shop for all your gaming server needs. Counter-Strike, Battlefield, Call of Duty. I got one of those shooter games too, and it only lasts about 10 minutes, and then it says game over. Of course, Dakota, I tend to annihilate everything I see, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, the red and the green, JD, there's a difference.
Pace car has pulled off. Philip Stocks, I tell you what, Philip Stocks got a pile of green flags on the front seat of that car. Mike Kuhn on the outside. Warren Peed, your points leader, up there in the top 5, running third. Ray Moss hanging out in that 24 machine, doing a fantastic job. The 85 Tom McKeever down on the bottom, 5th position down here, guys, as he battles with the 24 coming off of turn 2. And the 24 is going to have to get off the throttle just a little bit as McKeever gets alongside. McKeever. I got to keep remembering that. And they do get it sorted out.
I was going to say, Mike Kuhn is closed up on the leader. Not sure he can be able to do anything with him here, but second place, Mike Kuhn in the 25, is right at the bumper of the leader right now.
I'll tell you what, they're cutting them ponies loose. 24 car, 7th position, giving up 2 positions. One of them to Dustin Storm getting around him. Ray Moss got around him just a little bit ago in that, or actually Dustin Storm got around him here just a little bit ago in that 16 machine. So the 24 car going backwards here a little bit, Ray Moss. So they get it all sorted out, pretty much single file now. Travis Joyner back here in 8th position in that 19 machine. Got a lot of damage on the bottom side of the back end of that machine, but as long as that spoiler stays up in the air, he's probably going to be good to go. And, this is the first time I've noticed this car tonight, 9th position. The cameraman, John, let's see if we can get a tight shot on the back end of that machine. What is that back there? Who is that on the 69 car, 9th position? That's my wife. John said that's my wife. Is her name Elle? Or is that Ellie? There's a tight shot. There you go. All right. Little action from the cameraman down there. 97 laps in the books here, Cowboy, but I tell you what, we ain't done yet. Fat Lady hasn't got up and sung her song, but pretty much single file all the way back. Let's take it back to 13th position. Mike Hebb back here. And Mike coming in second in points into this race, just 3 off from Warren Peed. Hebb not having the night that he wanted to have here for sure. So this might be an upset in the points coming out of Chicago here tonight, Dakota.
Yeah, and watching up front again, I want to go back and look up there just one more time, and it looks like Philip Stocks is almost starting to pull away from Mike Coon. What I've noticed is Philip Stocks in the long run is able to pretty much pull away from the field and to almost annihilate them, as like you do that little video game you play or you attempt to play. It's first-person shooter, whatever you want to call it. But Philip Stocks is, I mean, really looks like his class of the field car. And Warren Peed, sitting in third position, remember, is the points leader, so he has put himself in a good position. Like always, creeps in at the end of the race, and he is doing it once again, JD.
7th position back to Ray Moss, that 24 car. I can see him pedaling the gas pedal down here. He's trying to get up to the bumper of that 8 machine up there in front of him in 6th position. But 24 of Ray Moss having some difficulty. Went backwards here, a couple of laps ago, but hanging out in 7th position right now. Looks like he's got it all sorted out. Don't know if he's got the horsepower to get up there with Cody Sears and Dustin Storm up there in front of him, but way out in front. I'll tell you what, Philip Stocks has just been the class of the field here tonight. He has led 89 laps here at Chicagoland Speedway here tonight. So Philip Stocks certainly putting it together to take a trophy home here tonight. And Mike Kuhn and that 25 machine right behind him. And I'll tell you, they're about 0.6 of a second out in front of McKeever back here. McKeever, who has spent a lot of time tucked under the bumper of Philip Stocks in that 29 car tonight, finds himself on the outside looking in as he desperately tries to find some more horsepower to move that 85 car right back up on the bumper of that 29.
32 laps remaining, JD, and this thing is winding down. And Philip Stocks, like you said, pretty much class of the field. I'm keeping my eye on Travis Joyner back there. We haven't mentioned him. He's got hostile contact on the back of the car. Seems like he can get up to 8th position, but then we have this big gap from 8th to 7th to Ray Moss's last car in that line. But I mean, Travis Joyner, it looks like every time, even if we get a caution, is stuck in 8th position right now.
And I think it's the damage on that 19 machine, that hostile contact car. He's got quite a bit of damage on the back end of that car, and airflow is important on these cars. I mean, when you're doing 190 miles an hour, draft means everything here at Chicagoland Speedway. So body damage, if it's on the sides or the front, could upset the handling of that car. But he's got a ton of it on the back end, and when the air comes off the back, creates that vortex. Any damage on the bottom edge of the car can create some problems. So that's part of what we're seeing off of that 19, just not able to get it any far forward than where he's at. In fact, it almost appears like he's backing it up.
Whatever he's doing, it seems to be working. If he's cracked the top 10 after being back, put in the back at least once now, and he's able to, race his way back up there and stay there. So, it's obviously not hurting him too bad, but he is stuck in 8th position, like we said.
And Terry Milford's 15th position back here, guys. Terry Milford coming down. I believe this is an unscheduled pit stop. It looks like it's for some damage repair as he goes around, and I believe that's going to be turn 3.
And he has just drove it straight through to the garage, so his day most likely ended.
Yeah, this is going to be. I got it rolled up on my E-wind here. I believe this is turn 3. I can't get my camera angle right down here, but it's 75 and a 21 back here, 15th position, and Milford tangles with the apron line. Actually, he starts going around before then. Paul Rogers has to get off the gas in a hurry, and Milford goes around, tags the wall a couple of times, bounces off, darts across the track down onto the apron. And he'll be coming down pit road, and like Dakota says, unfortunately going to retire for the night. Just way too much damage on that 75 car. So Terry Milford, unfortunately, ending the night here on lap 107 at Chicagoland Speedway.
Looking up front, I wonder if Mike Kuhn might be the new Brad Keselowski, as he's hanging with Philip Stocks this time. And Philip Stock's not quite able to drive away. He's a little bit of a gap, but not much. It's like Mike Kuhn maybe will stick with him, and as I say that, it looks like Mike Kuhn will wiggle just a little bit going to that corner and maybe scrub some speed there. But I mean, Mike Kuhn is looking pretty strong as to where he was earlier.
Yeah, and want to remind the fans that you can see the live stats being posted up there. Lap times for Philip Stocks, of course, he's the leader. You won't see those posted, but let's take a quick check on our telemetry here. Last time by for Philip Stocks was going to be looks like
30.401.
Absolutely, and we've been watching McKeever all night long as McKeever is dropping back. Let me see if I can catch up. Something going on with the. Actually, Tom McKeever's car. There we go. Posting up 30.437. So McKeever and Stocks pretty much turning almost the same lap times here. That time by McKeever just a little bit faster, a couple thousandths faster, but don't know if it's going to be enough. 109 laps in the books here at Chicagoland, Dakota. Don't know if there's a whole lot of time left for McKeever to get anything done and get it out of fourth and up in there on the bumper of Stock's car.
Yeah, well, last time by, this is a funny story. The front two cars, so I believe it's Philip Stocks and Mike Kuhn ran exactly the same lap time.
All right, you can see the telemetry up on the screen that shows the position of the cars in relationship to the track itself, and all the way in the back is going to be Paul Rogers at 21 car. You can see he's about a third of a track in back as the whole entire field goes across our finish line. Then the 21 car will come by. So a 21 car completely off the pace here by quite a bit. In fact, he's 13, almost 14 seconds behind the leaders. So getting close to being about a half a lap behind. But up in front, it is Philip Stocks and Mike Kuhn battling it out here. Kuhn just keeping Stocks in the windshield there. And Warren Peed, the points leader, in third position. Warren coming into the race here tonight with 4 wins, 10 top 5 finishes, and 7 top 10s. And that's how you get to be a points leader here. Consistency, and it pays off for a lot of these guys. Even Mike Hebb, 13 top 10 finishes. Ray Moss with 10 top 10 finishes. I mean, yes, some pretty incredible racing throughout the season.
And also Tom McKeever, remember, he was able to challenge the leader early, still sitting in the 4th position, stuck there pretty much behind Warren Peed. And I'm kind of wondering, I see in the chat box that Mike Kuhn says this race is sleeper, so I'm kind of wondering if he was just hanging back a little bit earlier. And right now, as he is on the bumper of Philip Stocks, he is showing him what he's got, and he's showing him he's there. As he looks like he's going the inside, not quite there, but Mike Kuhn has closed up on Philip Stocks for the lead.
And as we watch that happen out here on the track, checking the chat room over here, Jeff joining us here tonight, Joel Brown in the house. Coach Joel having to put his car on the hauler for the night, and no drip puss. I have no idea what that means. Pace car driver Ray C. That's going to be Ray Shananette, I believe, and SCE. I believe that's going to be Gary. Well, it depends on where you're from. It's either Madu or Maydu, but if you live at John's house, I guess it's Maydu.
It was Maydu for me too, and I'm Indiana as well, so yeah, it could be a thing.
All right. How much time do you spend over at John's house?
I don't never been there.
Well, I thought he'd at least have you over for dinner or something. I mean, my God.
Yeah, he's like a little bit more northerner. But I'll tell you what, on track, Mike Kuhn was just pushing Philip Stocks all the way down the backstretch, having to back off and kind of move high. But oh my God, Mike Kuhn was there.
All right, looking at SCE down there in the chat room, and I guess he's Mr. SCE. And I tell you, back out here on the track, guys, it's been a Philip Stocks night, all night from the get-go. McKeever has a green flag or two on the front seat of that car, but I tell you, we've been watching him all night. He's been sharing that lead up there with Stocks early on, but from the second half here now to about lap 117, Ben's fighting an ill-handling car, I think, just doesn't seem to have the horsepower to get it up there. Has to get out of the throttle just a little bit earlier in these turns, and looks like he might even be getting back on just a little bit late, trying to pull up to the bumper of Warren Pete up here in third position, but McKeevy still battling in fourth position back here. No threat coming out of fifth position from Cody Sears. Cody Sears a good 8-10 car lengths in back of McKeever up there, but as this thing starts to wind down, McKeever's looking to do something to get back up there in front. Warren Pete, the points leader, still sitting in third.
Mike Kuhn kind of fell off, and I think once he got off of him, he kind of lost a little bit of draft, and maybe he has fallen back just a little bit as he's almost back to the clutches of Warren Pete. But I mean, Philip Stocks isn't completely driving away anymore still, so I really think Mike Kuhn had something for him maybe.
All right, then. I believe we're about 30 laps into this run, so I believe this is actually the longest run of the night here, guys. So we're getting down to a critical tire issue here. So I would imagine that the reason we're not seeing a whole lot of action out here on the track is this thing starts to wind down. Save those tires for a last battle effort here at Chicagoland Speedway.
14 laps remaining, JD, and somebody who is not saving tires, Mike Kuhn, is just driven up to the back bumper of Philip Stocks. He is there, a lot closer than what he was. Warren Pete is not far out either, so Mike Kuhn looking to make a move here as soon as he can, as he is closing in really, really quick, JD.
Throw another handful of wood on the boiler, cowboy. I tell you what, the 25 car, Mike Kuhn sitting in second position, and he's been staring at the bumper of that 29 machine all night long here, last part of this race. So looking for Kuhn to do something here pretty soon as the laps start winding down here at Chicagoland Speedway. Race being sponsored by Hostile Contact Simulation Gaming Servers, HostileContact.com, and of course Stock Car Evolution. Do you have what it takes, cowboy? StockCarEvolution.com. Check those boys out. And I'll tell you what, between this one and the one we saw last night, shaping up to be some pretty good racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. Going back through the line here, the top 5 cars, Cody Sears sitting back here in 5th position. He's a long ways off McKeever up there in 4th, but Cody needs to get something moving here, either stuff a little more wood in the boiler or turn the heat up a notch or two here. But Cody Sears significantly off the pace, but still in the top 5. And then behind him, the 24 car, Ray Moss. Ray Moss, he's sharing that seat with a bunch of drivers. I believe it's Travis Joyner, Ray Moss, Tom McKeever, Mike Kuhn, Philip Stocks even. They all coming in with same number of points, 2006 points, 6 behind the leader. So Ray Moss still occupying a top 5 spot here. That would be actually, now he's in 6th position, but just looking on the outside of a top 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Mike Kuhn, but something happened to him. He looks like he almost got tight in the corner and went up, and then all of a sudden you see him kind of pulling down out of the way, and Warren Pete goes around the outside, so Warren Pete up to second and closing on Philip Stocks.
And unfortunately for Mike Kuhn, I tell you what, that's something you gotta kind of sit back, take a deep breath, get the confidence back, and get back on the throttle. But in the meantime, Warren Pete says, "Ha ha ha, cowboy! Now it's my turn," as he's looking for the horsepower to pull it up to the 29 car as we start winding down the final laps here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Sir, 9 to go. 8 when we cross the line, I do believe. And if we saw anything that we did last night, it can come down to the apron, the very last tenth of a thousandth of a second at the line. Who was it? Like the 23 and somebody else. I mean, they were spinning one. It was insane. And 3 wide, wasn't it 2 nights ago? 3 wide at the apron for the win.
You bet. 3 wide at the apron, coming off turn 4 for the win here at Chicagoland Speedway. Don't know if we're going to see that here tonight, but I'll tell you what, Warren Pede just kind of staying about a car length off of Philip Stocks up here. But I'll tell you, as this thing starts to wind down, Looks like he's almost losing a little bit of time off of Stocks up there, but 31.106 for Philip Stocks. That time by Warren Peed with a 31.080. So Peed has a little bit of an edge as they roll off into turn 3 here, going through turn 4, looking to pull up on the bumper of Stocks up here. Can't get it done. Doesn't look like he's got the horsepower coming off the turns. Down the front stretch, use that draft, staying right in that vector, and into turn 1, getting a good entry down here. Both of them hugging that apron line. But it looks like he loses a little bit of time in the center of the turn. Stocks gets a good run off, and then Pete having to use that draft down the backstretch. So I'll tell you what, this thing's starting to wind down. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, cowboy. We'll see what Phillips has got for Warren Peed in the back here.
Yeah, Mike Kuhn is kind of hanging there in third, but like I said, Warren Peed has closed up to the bumper. And Tom McKeever still kind of hanging there in fourth position. I'm moving back. Dustin Storm, I believe, is all by himself. The 16 car, he's kind of 8 seconds out of the lead, but he's got a second 3/10 over Gary Cross, and Travis Joyner has moved back a spot in 9th position as Gary Cross in 8th position in 69 has passed him. I saw them riding just how they
Pass
were
for the lead.
switched. As we have
Got to
pass for the lead.
Pass for the lead up in front, coming to the start-finish line. Warren Peed on the outside. That's a bad position to be in going into turn 1. He's going to have to get off the throttle just a little bit sooner than Phillips on the bottom. Phillips is going to have the run, and he does. Warren Peed almost getting a position crossing the start-finish line. But I tell you what, Cowboy, going into that turn and turn 1 on that high line, you have to get off the throttle. That wall comes up way too quick to stay in it, and Warren Peed tried to get the job done, could not. Philip Stocks back out to the front.
I think that could have made that move could have been made too early, as we have about 3 laps remaining. He's going to run back down Philip Stocks, which I don't know will be a problem, but I mean, he may burn up his tires trying to do that and not be able to do anything with them.
And Mike Kuhn, who was sharing that seat with those 4 or 5 other drivers, as we mentioned, trying to do what he can to pull up to the front. Oh, it looked like a block being put by the leader. Philip Stocks in trouble. Philip Stocks swings it out wide, takes it to the wall, side by side to the front stretch here, down to the wire. I tell you what, Warren Peed taking advantage of a misstep by Phillips up here, Philip Stocks, and looks like Stocks going to fight back on the outside. He doesn't have the horsepower to do it. Warren Peed to the front off of turn 2, and along comes Mike Kuhn alongside the 29 for second position. Philip Stocks, our leader all night long, is moved back to 3rd position, guys.
Yeah, Phillip was blocking Warren all the way down into turn 3. He was all the way on the bottom, and Warren just ran in the back of him up the track, and Warren did get a little side effect from that. He hit the apron and was slowed up a little bit, but he was still able to get by. And now, as you said, watch from McKeever now, as we are on the white flag.
White flag lap. They picked up the white flag coming off of turn 2 here, and the Philip Stocks does not have it to do it. I'll tell you what, back there in 3rd, up in front, it's going to be Warren Peed and Mike Kuhn. Mike Kuhn looking at the bumper of that 61 machine, the 25 car, coming to the start-finish line. And this is the last time around, Cowboy, and it's going to be Warren Peed to the start-finish line for the win here at Chicagoland Speedway Chase Race number 1. And it is over. Warren Peed picks up the trophy tonight. Mike Kuhn finishing in 2nd position. Philip Stocks, who led all the laps here tonight. And I'll tell you what, he had a misstep there, about 3 to go, had to take it up to the wall. That allowed Warren Peed to get alongside and take the position away, and Stocks just went backwards from there. But I'll tell you what, terrific effort out of all of these guys here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Warren Peed coming out of nowhere. He was nowhere to be found the first half of the race, watching him right around in about 10th position, 8th position, and he comes out and wins the race.
Tell you what, 134 laps later here at Chicagoland Speedway, what a night of racing we've witnessed tonight. I tell you what, Warren Peed down there on the start-finish line, burning off what's left of the rubber on those tires. We'll just sit here and give him the thrill of victory here for just a few minutes, and then we'll step away. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, the Hostile Contact Simulation Servers post-race show here from Chicagoland Speedway with our winners. So don't wander off. We'll be right back. At Hostile Contact, our goal is to provide quality, reliable, and affordable game and voice-over IP service to the online gaming community. We accommodate all the first-person shooters and role-playing games such as America's Army, Battlefield, all the releases of Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and many more. We also provide simulation racing servers for many of the online racing games. ARCA, Live for Speed, RFAC, professional web hosting packages are available. Billing, gaming control panels, Mohawk Voice, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, 2 and 3, Hostile Contact. It's your only choice for game servers. HostileContact.com. And welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway here, the Hostile Contact Simulation Game Servers post-race show here, and down in Victory Circle with the driver of that number 61 machine, Warren Peed, coming into the chase as your points leader with 4 wins, 10 top 5 finishes, 7 top 10s. That's how he got here. But Warren, let's take it back to just a couple of laps before crossing the start-finish line for the trophy. You've been chasing down Philip Stocks up there for quite some time. Did you think he had anything for him at all before that little mishap of his there on that last lap?
No, he had a good car, but Mike and I were slowly pulling him back, and I tried to pass with about 5 laps to go and tried a high side and it wouldn't work. Tried low side and it wouldn't work, and then with about 2 to go, I got a run on the side of him and he ducked down for the block, and I unfortunately made contact with him, but thankfully I didn't turn him around. But it was great fun racing that hard.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, a season's worth of racing. It took you 26 to get here, and you wound up in front. And I'll tell you, let's go back to Chicagoland Speedway here for just a minute. Watching these guys all night long here, it looked like everybody pretty much had it on cruise control, but I did notice turns 3 and 4. Usually you see a lot of guys taking that middle lane here at this track, but for the most part, everybody running that bottom line. Is that the preferred line here for Chicago Speedway now?
Yeah, definitely through SE, definitely is. If you try to go middle line through 3 and 4 with worn tyres, there's some bumps there. It sort of pushes you up into the wall, so yeah, try to hang as low as possible and just drift out of 4.
I'll tell you what, the thrill of victory, coming around, take the white flag. You saw Philip Stocks have that little upset there. What was going through your mind right at that moment?
I was actually just saying to my tyres, hang on baby, 2 more laps to go, 2 more laps.
Yeehaw, here we go, cowboy. I'll tell you what, Warren Peed getting the job done here at Chicagoland Speedway. Who made it happen for you, bud?
Once again, Mike the mechanic. Mike Kuhn, great set, buddy.
Mike the mechanic. All right, Warren Peed going home from Chicagoland Speedway here tonight with the first race of the chase for Elite Pro Series Stock Car Evolution, sponsored by Hostile Contact Gaming Servers. I'm going to throw it on down pit road. I believe Dakota Ehrman has caught up with our second place finisher here tonight, Mike Kuhn.
Yeah, and Mike, man, I mean, you look like you had something for Phil, and while Phil was in the lead, and then you just kind of fell off. Like you moved down, you got tight maybe, and then moved down, let Warren go, and then not sure what happened, but you was able to sneak through second. How did you do that?
Yeah, on that last pit stop, I made a slight adjustment to loosen the car up, and it went a little bit too far, and I kind of caught the apron there out of turn 2, and it got me a little bit sideways, so I had to check up and let Warren get on the outside by me.
And Mike, man, do you think you had anything for Phil, or, I mean, was it going to be rough?
It's going to be rough because it's a hard track to pass on with the bottom groove as it is, but he was holding me up a little bit, but we were fairly equal too. It was just hard to say.
All right, Mike, man, well, who makes that for you tonight?
Hell on Wheels Racing and my teammate Warren Peed and Ray Moss. They do a good job all year long.
All right,
congratulations to Warren Peed.
All right, there you have it for your second place finisher. I'm actually just moving on down the line. I have Philip Stocks also standing here with me, and Philip, man, that has to be rough to go as long as you did, lead as many laps as you did, and to get into the last few laps.
Yes, hey guys, it was a little disappointing, but it was a good run. I mean, we wanted to come out and we wanted to try to lead as many laps as we could. We accomplished that. We had a lot of successes tonight that we're pretty happy about. There the last couple laps, that was kind of disappointing, but I knew that Mike and Warren were just a tick faster than me. I had pushed it a little bit too hard there early in the run, and and was starting to get loose, which was a situation that I won't really used to. That setup tended to get tight on long runs, and for some reason on that last run it got a little bit loose.
And Phil, man, you were able to almost dominate the rest of the race. I mean, you were able to, even by yourself, pull away from the field at times. Did you think you had it kind of wrapped up?
No, I knew the talent was there. I mean, these guys, man, they're very talented, very good drivers, and I knew that there was a couple in the field there that were not showing all their cards yet. And right before we went green, I hit up a teammate on the mic and was talking to him. I said, "Yeah, I think you're going to find out now who's got what."
All right, Phil. Well, who makes that fight tonight?
I have to throw a shout out to my teammates. I wouldn't have had the season I've had, or the wins that I've had this season without them. Tom McKeever, Lane Allen, Cody Sears at Hammerdown Motorsports. It's a real strong program, and it's great working with those guys. I appreciate all their help through the season.
Well, you have from a somewhat disappointing third-place finisher, JD.
All right, and tell you what a night of racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. And I tell you, 130 laps later, Warren Peed coming in the points leader. He's leaving as the points leader here tonight, too. But I tell you what, he's got some heavy competition going down through these points. Mike Hebb, Travis Joyner, Ray Moss, Tom McKeever. What a run he had here tonight. It's not over. We've got 9 more of these things to go before the season ends here officially. So he does have a lot of competition tonight, or for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure he does, and I know Warren probably celebrating real hard right now. But I guarantee they're going to start working on their stuff for next week, probably as soon as they get out of here. That's something you got to. This league seems to be really competitive, and I know it's pretty rough to be a points leader, and that's pretty awesome what he's doing.
You bet. I'll tell you what, being the points leader, that's like being the target. You're on the front seat and everybody's staring at you. But I'll tell you what, they got 9 more to get the job done. A lot of fun here from Chicagoland Speedway here tonight. We need to thank Hostile Contact Simulation Game Servers for sponsoring the Chase Series here at Stock Car Evolution Elite Pro Series, StockCarEvolution.com. Do you have what it takes, cowboy? I'll tell you what, get on over there, download this game. You can get the installer, the mod manager, the whole 9 yards, and get out here and start running with these boys. But I'll tell you what, we need to wrap this thing up. But before we do get out of here, we're not leaving, but we got a couple of more gigs here in Chicago, Dakota. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, Real Sim Racing, they're going to get lined up for their first chase here at Chicago Speedway. And, of course, before that, you can join Wesley Outland and Michael Neff for the Winners Motorsports Show from 6 to 8 p.m., and then on Tuesday night, the Open Paddock Show on ETV Live Radio. Of course, all of our live broadcasts featured on ETV Live Radio. You can go to iTunes and grab it there. TuneIn Radio or TuneIn.com. Make sure you get the app over there. You can listen to us on your Android or iPhone. Of course, we're also featured on Windows Media Guide, ETV Live Radio, 24/7 classic rock. So from Chicagoland Speedway, for Dakota Ehrman, for John Westling, for Mike Schreiner and Gary Maydew, and all the winners here from Chicago, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.